आज 20 मार्च सन 1986 हम अंग्रेज़ी रंगमंच के सुप्रसिद्ध निर्देशक श्री बैरी जॉन से बातचीत रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं. Barry, I'm very happy that I have been able to get to you today, this morning, and as I have been talking to you, we are trying to record the information about the work of people connected with theatre. And as I have already told you, in the meantime, we have been able to do the recording of a number of theatre personalities, actors, directors, dramatists. We haven't interviewed many dramatists yet because their work is assessed, and in academic criticism you always find about their life and their work, but the actors and directors, they go many a time unnoticed in the sense that once they are no more there,
they're not in black and white.
So we have started this work, and I'm very happy that we have been able to do a number of interviews and record them, and then we are transcribing them, and in due course they will be published in one or the other form. Now we have been hearing about you, and we know that you are interested simultaneously with the theatre of the grown-ups, let us put it, children and grown-up both. So, but before talking about them, I would like to record a little bit of information about when were you born, where were you born, how did you get involved in the theatre, and then of course we can come to your work. Yes.
Well, as is fairly well known, I'm an Englishman and born in a place called Coventry, which is in the middle of England, in a very sort of industrial area. Coventry is famous for its cathedral and for having been bombed very heavily during the Second World War. And with me being a war baby, I was born in 1946, or immediately after the war. My father described me as his celebration of the end of the war. My hometown was virtually rebuilt as I grew up. So, in a sense, I was born in a very new and modern sort of industrial city. My interest in theatre began during school, even right from junior school, in the way of acting. My inclinations were always tended to be artistic. In fact, I took art more than theatre more seriously as a child. I was always very good at drawing and painting, and even through school up to A levels, the school leaving exams that we have in England, I studied art and architecture, and even considered being an architect at that point in time.
That must have been a great boon to you, to know the painting and drawing and architecture, and then.
But exactly, yes, it turns out to be a great asset in theatre work.
Yes.
Since I do design most of my own sets and even costumes. But as it turned out, at the point of entering university, I opted for teaching drama, because at that point in time, drama as a subject in schools was something quite new and sort of revolutionary, if that's the term. Using drama as a vehicle or a medium of education, as a subject in its own right.
But how did it come to your mind to go in for teaching drama? You didn't. Did you have any experience before that? of drama?
This came through information with working with theatre people. In Coventry, the place where I was not only in school but outside of school with local amateur and semi-professional groups. I was working, and through them I got to know of this information. So I opted to train as a teacher of drama rather than go to drama school. So really my background is in education rather than professional theatre. And after college, I must mention that a big influence in my life has been a gentleman called John Hodgson, who has written a number of books on educational theatre and on improvisation especially. You may have read some of his books.
Maybe.
Generally he's published by Methuen. He has a book called Improvisation, another book called The Uses of Theatre, and textbooks for schools. He did television programs for schools on improvisation and so on. Quite a renowned personality. And after teaching for a year in England as a teacher of drama, it was purely coincidental that I saw this advertisement in a newspaper which wanted teachers to come to India to train teachers of English.
How could you influence the school people there to open a department or give you an opportunity to teach drama in the school when it was not being taught there? It's quite interesting. I'd like to know.
Well, that was one of the reasons that I was sort of not very happy with the school situation. Although, as is usually the case, there may be a policy, a government policy may be there, but it takes years, decades perhaps, for policy to be accepted and actually materialized, in practical terms. And I faced a lot of opposition. I was teaching in a fairly liberalized and forward-looking school, a high school, mixed.
Could you please tell us the name of the school? That would help us.
Not really, in the sense that it was not in a large town. It was rather a rural area. My college was up in Yorkshire, and in an area which is largely a mixture of farmers and coal miners. The nearest town, for example, was Barnsley, which is actually a point of humour, as being a very small town, very local. But I was very happy there. Alternatively, the people up in the north of England are very warm, earthy, very community-based sort of living. It's not city-style living at all. And for me that was something new, with my background in Coventry, very large industrialized concrete and glass edifice, to go to Yorkshire, which is very wild and, in a sense, uncivilized by those standards. But in terms of applying something like drama, a very new subject, into such an environment was not easily done, and I faced a lot of opposition. Not so much from the children, who really enjoyed the work, but from the rest of the staff, who really didn't know what I was up to.
They must have the impression that it's waste of time and energy, and what for this fellow is there.
There is this paradox that anything which is fun and enjoyable should be considered a waste of time, when in fact whatever children do enjoy and are involved with is something which they will really learn from. But it was just that fact that the drama teacher demands space, he demands musical instruments, he likes a lot of noise and activity in his class, which so far as other teachers are concerned, is not exemplary behavior. It's not disciplined, and therefore is questionable. So it was a combination of escaping from all that, as well as a desire to. The advertisement I responded to was from a voluntary agency called VSO in London. It's often compared to the Peace Corps of the American system, although it is not very much the same beyond the idea of having young people, young professionals, going out to developing countries. Because VSO is a much smaller body. It is not government aided. It's based largely on charities and donations. And they are interested in doctors and engineers and teachers going out to developing countries, helping on whatever projects are set up. So I responded to this one which asked for teachers to come to Bangalore.
Yes.
Although that had nothing at all to do with theatre. This was an English language project, which I wasn't sure I was qualified for. But I was accepted, and that was followed up with an intensive course in language teaching at Sussex University before coming out.
But you must have been very young at that time.
I was 22.
22. That's all, and you were appointed at that early age.
Yes.
Very good.
So I came to Bangalore. That was my first.
And that was in 1968,
Situation.
46, 22, 68, 69.
That's right, exactly 68. September 68.
September 68.
And initially it was just for 1 year. It's called the Regional Institute of English in Bangalore. It's quite a large institution. It's a sister institution to the Central Institute in Hyderabad. And it's aided by the governments of the 4 southern states, meaning Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Kerala and Kannada. And we were at Bangalore, intensive courses, in-service courses for teachers are arranged there, with the idea of teaching them new methods of English teaching, direct conversational methods rather than through ABC rote learning techniques. And we wrote textbooks for schools, we did radio programs for schools. And although, as I said, it was really nothing to do with my theatre work, I did find that, again, the drama or the theatre work was a useful aid in language teaching.
How?
Through setting up in the classroom situations which are dramatic. You create real life situations, and therefore the context of language learning is real and meaningful. It's really got nothing to do with books or the ABC.
You found it to be interesting and useful and quick method.
And effective, which is the important thing. Yes.
Very good.
And this is the way we do learn our languages anyway. I mean, this is the natural process of any mother tongue being taught. You don't begin with a book and the ABC. A baby begins by listening, understanding, playing with the words and the sounds of the language. And first you learn to speak, and then reading and writing is easy after that.
That's true.
Rather than teaching a language through ABC, through grammar, it's turning the whole system upside down and cannot be so effective. you're sort of learning to run before you can walk. You know. Anyway, besides that, in Bangalore, I was involved, inevitably one can't keep away from theatre, and I was involved with two societies there, the BLT, the Bangalore Little Theatre, and BADS. BADS meaning the Bangalore Amateur Dramatic Society.
BADS. Now that was a very bad bad name, abbreviation BADS. Anyway, so.
And I performed a number of plays and directed a few, even outside of those groups with local youth groups and community groups and colleges.
Did you find it difficult to act at that age? Now, of course, you are doing here, you coming from a different background, and then the intonation and language and the way you speak, and the others must have been speaking there. Did you find it difficult at that level?
Actually, no, because that's always been a sore point with me. Coming from Coventry, there is something which is known as a Midlands accent, which is broad and which is, like any other accent in England, which is not the London BBC type accent, is looked down upon. It's all to do. The class system is very deeply rooted in England and prevails, and of course language has a lot to do with it. And interestingly enough, I find the standards of English in India higher than most parts of England outside of London. Anyway, that's beside it. But my own accent has never been this BBC
accent.
Received sort of.
So people didn't have problem with you, and you didn't have problem with me. Not much.
No, and my father was Welsh, and the Welsh are known to have a very sing-song sort of intonation, which is very akin to the to South Indian forms of English anyway. So I was quite at home.
Good.
And I had never had these problems of not understanding or not being understood.
What type of plays you did there in Bangalore? Classics or comedies? Or did you do some Indian plays also? In translation, I mean in English.
One that I was involved with, and that was a children's play called The Ungrateful Man. One powerful and influential character was another Englishman in Bangalore called David Horsburgh, who in fact has written this play. Horsburgh. He'd been in India many years, 40 or 50 years. And he was also teaching at this institute.
I see.
Eventually he retired, and but even in retirement he had bought land and started his own school in a village a few hundred kilometers outside of Bangalore, which is really a model school in the sense of what he has been able to do with local village children is just, unbelievable in fact.
Do you visit him even
I
now?
have visited, yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately he died just recently, but his son has now taken over the school.
Good.
And he's fairly well known in the world of education, since he wrote, his background, he speaks fluent Hindi, Sanskrit, Kannada, Telugu, Malayali.
Oh, good God.
He's an amazing person. Even Urdu too, because last time I met him a few years ago, he was writing a series of textbooks for the Kashmir government in Urdu.
So what plays you did there, if you remember? Some.
My first play there was Zoo Story, which I remember acting in. Another was Billy Liar. Not a very well-known play.
Yes, Zoo Story I know.
Waiting for Godot was also produced at that time.
And you were doing both occasionally, sometimes acting and directing, or both of these things were going on together? You were directing these plays and acting also?
This in fact was only my second year, because in the first year I was not so much in Bangalore, but I was out in villages around, in Tamil Nadu and in Karnataka. So I was not much in Bangalore during the first year. It was only during the second year, in 69 to 70, that I was based permanently in Bangalore at the Institute. Because the teachers that were trained in Bangalore were graduate teachers, and in turn they went back to their districts in various states and set up smaller centers to teach the local village teachers. This sort of decentralization plan of things. So for the first year I was out in the village areas, in the smaller centers, where one comes up with problems like single teacher schools, where you have one teacher who's got 50 or 60 local children, but with an age range of 6 to 16. And one person has to cope with all these classes. Anyway, through mutual friends and the theatre activity in Bangalore, I met Joy Michael, who was the director of Yatrik group in Delhi.
I haven't yet met, but I have to meet him.
Well, she's considered to be the backbone
actually, again,
English
that,
theatre.
yes. I somehow this has been that I haven't been yet. Well, the names are there. Anyway,
Everyone that meets from whatever part of the country seems to have been through Yatrik at some point in their career.
I have seen Yatrik's productions. I don't know who was the director of, I think, Matchmaker. Was it your production?
That's a Yatrik production.
But did
that
you
was
direct
before my
that?
time, no.
No, I just saw 1, 2, 3 years back. I think it was Yatrik's production, maybe somebody else's.
Perhaps it was someone else's then.
Anyway.
But people like Marcus Murch, Sushma Seth, Rati Bartholomew, Roshan Seth, have all passed through Yatrik.
So that was your stay in Bangalore.
Yes.
How long did you stay there?
So that was, as I said, it was initially just a 1-year project, but then I stayed on for the second year. And I think I knew then that it was going to be difficult for me to leave India. Although after 2 years in Bangalore, I did, through this organization, BSO, I did get a free ticket back home. Because that was the arrangement. This organization in London sends people out and promises their return. When you are on your project, you live and are supported by the local body or institution, whatever it is. For example, during those years I was on 250 rupees a month, on a teacher's pay scale. Anyway, Joy Michael, knowing that my term there was coming to an end, suggested that I move to Delhi and join Yatrik. At that time, Yatrik was going in for a merger with what was then the Indian National Theatre, which most people know more commonly as the Sri Ram Center for Art and Culture. Initially it was to be called the INT, the Indian National Theatre. And Yatrik was to be...
No, do you mean to say that means that INT is a big institution? It has got its big establishment in Bombay also.
I think that's
Bombay.
a separate body.
That is separate body.
Yes.
This was Indian National Theatre. Okay, fine.
And Yatrik was to be the professional theatre company in this arts complex which was being set up. And so I joined Yatrik on the staff on 500 rupees a month. My salary had been doubled by then.
And that must have been in 70, 71?
In 70.
70.
And although it was something completely unexpected, it was an opportunity for me to stay on in India, which I very much wanted to do. And then secondly, to do something which had only been a dream, which was, be involved professionally with theatre rather than education. Although Joy knew of my educational background and was also keen to sort of exploit that fact with me setting up workshops with children, for Yatrik. Which I did. I mean, as soon as I joined Yatrik, we set up something called the Young Stagers Club, which met at weekends during school term and then during vacations, and periodically did plays with children. As well as then, I was actually assistant stage director. Marcus Murch had also joined Yatrik as a full-time worker, and he was stage director. And I was assistant stage director. And we were both living in the Indian National Theatre, or the Sri Ram Centre as it is called, even before the construction was finished. Bare concrete walls and floors.
What type of plays were you doing with the children?
These were plays in English. They were, the group was English oriented.
But that means foreign plays in English or Indian plays translated into English? No.
These were foreign plays.
Foreign plays in English. Originally English or maybe foreign plays, let us put it.
Yes.
Maybe German or French play translated into English and that were being done.
Were you doing a lot of creative work also?
Oh yes, indeed.
With the children?
I always like to distinguish between drama and theatre.
Yes, and
in the sense that what one teaches in school is not geared towards producing something to be presented before an audience.
Yes.
That there is a lot to learn, about yourself, about other people, about any aspect of life in the world that you care to be interested in. Through the physical, practical activity that drama is, deepens understanding and the child's interest in that particular area of study, as well as all the personal benefits that the child gets out of it in the way of physical and intellectual and emotional development. See, in drama one is teaching the child. Your interest is in the development of the child, not in the development of theatre. In that way, drama is something that all children can do, and mostly do. But theatre is not. Theatre is something that, a gifted, specialized few can be involved in. You have the particular talents and skills that theatre demands. But drama grows out of what all children do, which is play. Role-playing, improvisations, the explorations of fantasy, that which children do without their teacher or without any parental or adult influence. It comes naturally and instinctively to them. It's their way of learning, coming to terms with the world. And drama is rooted in that and grows from that. And is not geared towards presenting plays for an audience. It's just for the activity itself.
No, but of course you must have been preparing them for the plays to be put up before
the most
the
of the work was that, the weekly workshops that we ran. was predominantly in that area of the work. And it was only in vacations, at Christmas time or whatever, that we said, okay, let's now get onto a script. Let's think of doing some theatre for a change rather than drama.
It's quite interesting. Now, how did you find you have been working with the children for quite some time now. Have you done some Indian plays, Indian themes also with them, or always foreign thing? I'm just asking this question again and again because this question comes many times before us about the English theatre in general, that what is done or shown mostly in English to the Indian audience, it's something which is not a part of their life.
Yes.
It is something, those situations, those problems, they are not our problem. Now how the children get engrossed in that type of thing, something which is not a part of their life, except the fantasy. Fantasy always is very interesting.
Yes.
And one can merge in that always. So from that point of view, I would just like to know your reaction. Did they react some way, or did you ever feel like doing plays, Indian plays also, trying to find out Indian themes and produce them? Have you done some productions in Hindi? Apart from English, have you done some plays with children?
Oh yes. Yes.
Or is it only in English that you have done?
I think my most successful project has been, although this was not with Yatrik. The Yatrik era went from 1970 to 1973.
That's all.
On and off, because in fact after 1 year with INT, this merger never came through, and Yatrik was thrown out of that theatre. Joy Michael herself was not here at that time. She was in America on a lecture tour. And so for a year, 71 to 72, I was sort of floating around Delhi with very little to do. I mean, after Yatrik was my only base there at that time. And so I spent a year sort of staying here and there with different friends, and ended up at the YMCA in a hostel. But it was during that time that I was forced into taking up, teaching jobs in schools, sort of really established myself as a freelancer.
Teaching of drama again, or
Yeah.
English?
Drama.
Drama. Good.
And
is the drama taught in many schools in Delhi now? I would like to know all this information.
unfortunately not, no.
At that time there were some schools in which they wanted the classes to be taken by a teacher regularly.
Schools always seem to manage to come up with the argument that there isn't the time. That the load of work that they already have to cope with the syllabuses as they are.
I think in modern school they had for quite some time. Amrish,
No,
here, Om Shivpuri
No.
was there as a teacher. Shama, tum zara sa aage आओगे तो.
But they were language teachers. They used to do something drama with the children, but actually they were language teachers, Hindi language teachers. So even today, I don't think there is any school which has used drama as part of education or as
Or the
means of education,
No.
means of teaching. Except what I know a little, there is one Sardar Patel school,
Yes.
Vidyalaya. They have for some time used drama. As
Was B.M.
part
Shah?
of- Yes.
B.M. Shah was
I
no,
don't
no.
know
He was in
about
Columbus.
Mr. Karan,
Karan, in fact,
Prema
started.
Karan, Meena Williams. These three people I know have been using drama as
And Ajay Karthik.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Ajay Karthik.
Another NSD student who's now in Bombay. He works mostly in television.
Yes, sorry for the interruption. And we were talking about the teaching of drama in Delhi
Yes.
school. And so
We were
it
talking
is really
about.
a pity that even now we have not been able to introduce drama in schools, which should have been done. And a lot of, I think, history, you can prescribe certain scripts. History, social sciences, a lot of it can be taught through drama also. These
Absolutely.
subjects can be
Yeah.
combined. Science, there could be small plays could be written there in which, through which a lot of things could be taught to them. It's really pity that we haven't yet included drama in the curriculum.
Well, people say that the most difficult thing to change in the world are people's attitudes. I think that's the case in education.
I
And,
think the
you see, drama it's not so much as, it isn't a subject really, because there are no prescribed textbooks. There cannot really be a syllabus in a sense. So for people to understand this, it's really an approach towards education, which dispenses with books and blackboards and exams. That is not drama's concern.
no, a lot of extracurricular activity is taught to
But why
the
should it be
children.
extracurricular?
No, what I am telling that drawing is
Immediately you
taught
say
there, singing is
extracurricular,
there.
you're saying it's not important. And the point is,
No, what I am saying
it's
that
probably more important than anything else, because drama's subject, if it is a subject, is people. It's the only subject where you ask the child, what do you think? What do you feel? What are your problems? What are the emotional crises you're going through? What are your problems at home, with your friends, your social life? Are you able to adjust socially? There's no other subject, maths, geography, history, it's all facts and figures from books. It has nothing to do with the child and who he is and what he thinks. And that is drama's concern. And there cannot be any textbook for that, because we're all different backgrounds. Each person that's the miracle of life, isn't it? That each one of us is unique.
yes.
And that's what drama is concerned with.
Do you, while teaching the dramas, because I know you have been, that time Pratik was telling that yes, he came to our school. Modern school, I think you very often go and produce plays for them.
Modern school? No,
Huh.
I've never done any
You
modern school.
haven't. Then about there is another school, the Players, no, what is the name? Playhouse. You go to Playhouse? No? Okay. Then how do you? Maybe Spastic, with the Spastic you did one?
Yes.
Okay. So my daughter is there in that school, Mrs. Jalan,
Uh-huh.
Divya Jalan.
In the spastics?
In the Spastics. Now they have got that big building at House
Have a
Park.
new
Yes.
place, that's right.
So Meeta Nandi is there, and then after her there are two people, Anita Shori and Mrs. Jalan.
Oh.
Now Divya Jalan, she is my daughter. So actually I have been hearing about you from her also, so I was confused whether I heard it from the son or from her. Achha, so now after that, 1973, how did the things go off? Shama Zara. Bowing with the great people. How did the life move ahead?
Well, 73 was then the foundation of TAG, Theatre Action Group.
It was in
Which-
73.
Yes, the group of which I'm artistic director.
Who were the people with you, others with you?
They were, thank you, largely a group of university students, and as is usual with most groups, I think, that it's the age when one has the time, the energy to be absolutely
do all
involved.
You can put that here. Just put that on.
That?
Oh, all right, you put that here in this. And that would have been the safest.
But this was a group of people I'd been working with during the last few years, particularly St. Stephen's College and Lady Shri Ram College for women, that tag was formed. And the first few years were very sort of youthful, sort of frenetic activity, of the new avant-garde sort of plays and productions.
What plays did you do during that period?
Notable, for example, our very first production was A Macbeth. I mean, that's Shakespeare's Macbeth, which has been adapted by someone called Charles Marovitz, an American who's been in England for a number of years now. And since his work with Peter Brook, got onto this idea of adapting Shakespeare in what he calls a collage form. You know, he has the indecency, some people would say, to cut up Shakespeare, you know, different characters. It's the same play, same characters, but the speeches are cut up and distributed differently. You know, he sort of creates a new play with a different...
distributed differently to the same person or attributed to other characters? To other characters.
It's quite a new play. So our first production was that. Lady Macbeth, for example, in this is positively a witch herself.
Really, if you come
and
to think of
the
it.
play is quite macabre. All the costumes are black, and there's a lot of ritual. It's very physical, vocal theatre, a lot of sound effects and sort of orchestration of voices and speeches and so on.
How many shows did you do of this play?
Quite a number. The first shows were not in Delhi, in fact, because the group began working through one summer vacation, and the culmination of which we went up to the hills, to Simla and Mussoorie, and to Dehradun, performing this in the schools there.
I see.
And then came back to Delhi and performed. So by the time that we did reach Delhi and our first production was put on in Delhi, it was very, very well rehearsed and performed, very slick, and made quite an impression.
Now this is quite a strange thing, that with the first production you were doing, you did at a number of places outside and then came down to Delhi and did it there.
Yes.
How was it taken by the audience? Very well?
Extremely well.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
How did you arrange the finance?
Literally from nothing. We all sort of pooled in money to go onto this tour. We managed to keep our finances steady through what the schools gave us for those performances, and even sufficient then to come back to Delhi and book a hall. And with very minimal publicity, it was literally just word of mouth that won us this first success.
Where did you perform? In which hall?
Our first performance was at the Fine Arts Theatre, I think.
Fine Arts Theatre.
Yes.
Good, good. Did you have the idea of being a professional actor-director right from the beginning? Or for that matter, are you even now a professional actor-director, or you are doing something else somewhere?
No, during all these years I've lived on nothing but
theatre.
Theatre work.
Good. And the life hasn't been very hard?
At times it's been extremely hard.
Because you see, even now, again there are certain things about which one really feels pity, that's all, that except the professional theatre, or let us say commercial theatre, which is really commercial, which in the recent days in Bengal we have a number of theatre halls where regular shows are held. And there was a time when from acting there were great stalwarts acting on the stage. Now also there are some good actors, but the total presentation seems to be very poor.
Yes.
And apart from that small section, theatre is not able to provide livelihood to others, really good theatre,
And
sincere, serious theatre.
It's a vicious circle, isn't it? Because until there is that commitment and professionalism standards, I mean, the theatre will never improve.
Will
its
never improve.
situation.
Another thing what I realize many a times, and which I have been talking about, that to make something very popular, some adjustment has to be done there. Now if we amateurs have been always thinking of high standards and experiments and this and that. Now that can be appreciated by a smaller number of audience. You can't have thousands and thousands of people understanding and appreciating something
No,
serious
exactly.
and great.
No.
So that balance perhaps the amateur theatre is not maintaining. Providing the entertainment. Now you can't make a person sit and get bored for 2.5 hours and pay for it.
No.
You can't do that. You have to give him something which makes him feel happy. Maybe sorry, but that also gives him another sort of happiness. Just to realizing, seeing the life, feeling the truth of it. That perhaps we are not giving. Either we are just giving in double meaning words and that sort of thing and trying to entertain people by that, or doing big experiments.
It's one extreme or the other.
Or another thing, it seems that we will have to go to the audience.
Well, that has consciously become TAG's policy now. And thus
yes,
we,
yes.
for example, have a cactus flower and see how they run on our repertoire. Along with something like Agnes of God.
These are the new plays that...
These are the plays we've been asked to bring because they are popular plays.
How many shows have you done of these plays? Roughly?
Roughly about 25 of Cactus
25.
Flower, and a little fewer for See How They Run.
Normally you are able to do about 30, 40, 50 shows of
Oh no, on average, I mean, still in Delhi the average group does just 3 shows, 3 or 4.
A year?
Of any play,
only 3.
a group will perform 3 or 4 shows, and then that's it. We have managed over the last few years a slightly better average of at least 12 shows.
At least 12 shows.
Yes.
How many?
And often, if it's a thing like Cactus Flower, it keeps having its reruns.
How many plays you are able to put up in a year? Yes, we were talking about the number of plays that you produce in a year. I'm sorry, it had stopped. So we have missed some. Yes. And
well, I said that we average about 6 plays, 6
and
major productions a year.
And average 12 shows of.
Yes, we have to do at least 12 performances of each play.
And how do you meet, how are you able to finance these things? I'm repeating the question for the recording.
Yes, well, as with most amateur groups, main sources of income are through the advertisements that we get together for the brochure.
Yes.
And any other sponsorship. For example, somebody would offer to do your publicity in the newspapers or printing your posters, whatever it is. Usually nothing more than that. And then the gate receipts.
Gate receipts.
Yes. We get no other sort of aid. I mean, just for the fact that we work in English, all government agencies are closed to us.
I think the best aid is the audience. If one can get the audience, then one doesn't need any
that's it, and
help.
that's
But of course,
fortunately what we've managed to achieve. We do have a guaranteed audience now in Delhi.
Good. And where do you mostly perform nowadays? Shri Ram Center?
Mostly, in fact, at Kamani Hall.
At Kamani Hall.
Because it's the largest stage and the best equipped theatre.
Right. And you get the enough number of people there. That means in Kamani is a big hall. So do you get 300-400 people there in the shows?
We manage fairly good houses, yes.
Fairly good houses.
Capacity there is 650.
Okay, now I would like you to tell us something about your major productions. Which productions do you consider as your major productions?
I would count our very first one as a major production. I'm considering the size of our success on a first production was, well, quite unusual and encouraging. And since then...
you mean A Macbeth?
A Macbeth. Other well-received productions have been Peter Schaeffer's Equus and Amadeus.
Now these two must have been very serious plays.
Oh, extremely.
Very serious plays.
Very intense.
Very
an excellent sort of total theatre, demanding on design, sound, music.
You do all that for your productions?
Oh yes.
Designing, sound, music, everything?
Generally yes. There have been a few productions where we've invited others to do that. Another big success we had was the opera Jesus Christ Superstar.
I see. I saw that production in London.
Really?
Yeah.
It was enormously successful. In fact, I did 2 productions of it in Delhi. The first one was with a school, St. Xavier's School, which had a cast of over 100 boys. And then Tag also did a production after that.
How did you manage the singing? You had the singing artists both in school and in
Yes.
Tag?
During this time I was working very closely with Paramveer, a very eminent musician, a very rare person to come across, who, as well as being an excellent musician himself, was a composer. And Paramveer. He's now in England working with a professional composer.
An Indian?
An Indian, oh yes. Although since boyhood he's been, steeped in classical music, and the piano particularly is his instrument. And he, for Jesus Christ Superstar, wrote all the music by hand, just from listening to the records that we got a hold of.
But did you copy that
incredible
music?
feat.
You copy that music?
No, he rearranged it completely.
Rearranged.
To suit the musicians that he could get together in Delhi. And perhaps another major...
And was the same script and music used for the school and Tag, or some changes were made?
No, it was the same thing. The script was the same.
Script was the same.
It's an opera, so the music...
By lyrics, script I mean that.
The lyrics are fixed.
Including music script.
Yes.
It was all the same.
But the productions were quite different. The Tag production was designed by Laila Tayyabji. I don't know if you know her. She has a lot to do with rural and folk handicrafts, especially, and the development of them. Forming workers' cooperatives and things.
No, I haven't.
Very wonderful person. Very talented.
So how was she interested in producing this play?
Well, largely through her brother, who had joined our group by then. Very fine actor, Khalid Tayyabji.
And what did you do in that? You directed?
I directed,
you
yes.
Directed. You didn't act in that?
No.
And when did you do this? Jesus Christ Superstar?
That was around 75, 76.
75, 76. Then what other productions?
Also with Paramveer, we did the production of Peter Weiss's Mara Saad.
Mara Saad.
Yes. It's a big play, and very powerful piece of theatre. You know, it's the one set in a lunatic asylum in France, which has the Marquis de Sade as one of the central characters, and Marat, the revolutionary. And all the actors are meant to be mental patients. It's a play within a play. It's set in this asylum, and the actors in the play are mental patients in the asylum, performing the various roles in this play that Sade has written. And it has music and songs too. Very big production, very difficult.
So you have the actors who do the singing, or did you use
Well,
recorded
Paramveer
music?
was very useful. I mean, not only did he write the music and train the musicians and sort of conduct, but train the singers too. It's very sad that he's no longer here. One misses him enormously. Because there's no one in Delhi like him who's that creative. I think what must count as one of my best productions too was a play we did with children, and which we called Kid Stuff, and which, although was largely in English, it was a mixture of English and Hindi,
I see.
and grew out of a whole year's workshop with this particular group of children from St. Xavier's School.
I see.
And we called it Kid Stuff because from the outset we knew it had to be a play about the children and for them and by them. And it was done largely through improvisations. We met sort of twice a week through most of the term, and then regularly all days during vacation times. I mean, we even had camps during vacations where the children would stay and sleep in the school itself.
I see.
The work was so intense. And it was about them, their home life. It was principally about school. I think the major theme was very much to do with school and the problems that children face in school, with the pressure of overcrowded classes, the sort of anonymous life that children have as just a serial number on a register. No one cares who they are at an individual personal level.
And nowadays they are mostly called by the surnames.
The pressure-
Sani, Gupta,
Yes.
that way, the first name.
The pressure of work and exams.
Okay.
The inhuman treatment that they receive from some teachers. And it got on to being something about child labor too, because we didn't know what the play was going to be, or whether it would have a narrative story form or not. But it turned out to be in a story form, and centering on one particular boy who fails exams and gets thrashed and beaten at home because of that, and eventually runs away. And this is actually based on fact, because during the course of the workshop we visited certain children's homes for delinquent children in Delhi. And it's so sad that most of these children who are picked up by the police and who become petty criminals are children simply who have run away from home and just don't know how to feed their bellies, that they are sort of forced into mixing with the wrong kinds of people and get pushed into crime, in a sense, petty crime. And sort of 7 or 8 out of 10 cases was to do with a broken home that the children had run away from, that the mother had died, father had remarried, the stepmother, a bad relationship with the stepmother. 8 out of 10 cases was the case with these children.
How did the play as a whole come up after that?
So we had our central character running away from home and going off to Bombay. and with, again, which were quite common, with sort of romantic dreams of becoming a film star, which many children do have. You know, without regarding the actual physical day-to-day problems of how he would live, how he would survive. He gets on a train, ticketless, and goes off to Bombay. We had him actually running away with the servant in the house, who was also very unhappy with the atmosphere at home and the way he was treated too, in his middle-class urban family. And the servant and the boy run off to Bombay together. In Bombay, the servant gets mixed up with a bad crowd who are doing everything from, you know, housebreaking to selling film tickets on the black, petty crime. But Ravi, the central character, you know, has his dreams and ideals and sticks to them and doesn't join this crowd. And the only work he can get is in a dhaba. You know, just cleaning up, wiping floors, wiping tables, washing dishes. And despite being very upset, very lonely, and feeling the pull to want to join, to question whether he should join this crowd of criminals who always have lots of money in their pocket, always buying new jeans and new clothes. You know, for a young person, there is that pull. But he maintains his sort of moral stand despite all the odds. And in a sense the story is an anticlimax because the boy has no alternative but to come home. You know, he's not even found by the police, but he himself decides this is no way to live. And I have to go back and face my family and face my life and face myself and my problems. Which he does. And the end of the play is the boy coming back home.
I see. So how old these children were who did it?
They were quite an age range because the first half of the play, up until the interval, is set in the boy's home and in school. So we had quite an age range, literally sort of 6 to 16-year-olds in the production, who are acting as the parents, as the teachers in the school. And then in Bombay, the dhaba owner, and these local thugs and characters. But it was really powerful because I'm credited with writing the songs because that proved to be a little too much for the kids to be able to do, especially in the time that was given. But certainly
now, one thing I would just like to know that this theme, though quite a common theme, yet quite a serious one, very serious problem being taken up of the children who are running away from the homes.
Yes.
And then the behavior of the teachers and all that.
Yeah.
Mostly in these schools, whether be it modern school or St. Xavier's school and all that, the children mostly come from better off
Yes,
families.
this is the ironical thing. I mean, they are considered to be the privileged
Yes,
ones.
yes. And still they have these type of problems, or how could the children grasp the whole thing and then reproduce it, depicting this big problem in the society of running away. Did you find that people from this class also, the boys from these type of families also, were running away from home?
In fact, it turns out to be that perhaps they suffer even more because, particularly from the teachers, but also supported by their parents, the system is even more heavily upon them because the expectations from these children are more.
More, yes.
You know, Daddy has said you are going to be a businessman, or you're going to be a scientist, or you're going to be this and that. And it's taken for granted that the boy has to become that.
Okay. Does it all bother the children much? Now I'm very inquisitive to know about it. Maybe that it doesn't have to do much with it, our theatre thing, but of course it is life. But the children also are disturbed by these things.
More so than people would acknowledge, yes.
अच्छा,
I mean, we developed such a relationship with these boys during the course of the year. They became extremely frank with us. And we had boys coming to us to workshops and reading and sharing with the group their diaries. Now for a 13 or 14-year-old, an adolescent, you know, who's very introverted, I mean, it's a notorious age for being closed in within yourself, and, you know, it's a growing stage where you're on the verge of manhood, and it's not easily done to open yourself out, to share your thoughts and your feelings with others. And literally to come with your diary and read out your innermost thoughts and dreams and fantasies, and
that they were doing.
And to reach that stage was well, very moving for us. The sad thing is that I must tell you that despite this, and despite everyone that saw the production saying how true and moving it was, and ultimately the whole play was a plea for change in the educational system, both from the teachers and from the parents who just shove their children into it and accept all this inhuman treatment that children are put through in the name of education. Despite this, there were many who were moved and said, yes, this is true and something must be done. Many parents came to us after seeing it with tears in their eyes and said, thank you for showing us the other side of something, you know, that we've not thought about or we've disregarded. There were teachers, after this production, our workshop was stopped.
Teachers must
I was
have
not
been
allowed
annoyed.
to teach in the school anymore, and eventually, after a few months, Paramveer, who was a full-time music teacher in the school, also resigned because his life was made so unhappy there. We were
resented it.
accused of putting ideas into the kids' minds, of being a bad influence on the children. Can you imagine? When we were absolutely open and honest. I mean, this play only came about because we were dealing with truth.
That's what I was wondering, that how people took
The
this type of
dialogues, the
thing.
ideas, even though I wrote the lyrics for the songs, it came out of this writing, these diaries, the improvisations that the children did, without any influence from us. Of course we were there to direct, to coordinate, but we didn't do anything more than that. And it really hurt us to be accused of, you know, putting ideas into the children's heads and sort of leading them astray into criticizing the system.
How many shows did you have of this performance?
The children did about 10 shows
10 shows.
at Kamani Hall with virtually full houses,
Good.
which is no mean feat.
No, it's big.
And it was a very long play. It was too long. After the first performance, which ran to about 3 hours or something,
Then
we
you-
had to cut it down. But we felt everything that was in there was important to say. And it was very difficult to cut it. And especially for the sake of the children who'd worked for a whole year on this thing.
Did you again work like this with any other group? Any other group of children you again worked like this?
Not in such an intense way.
Or with grown-ups.
We did try to keep the group going, even though the school stopped the activity. We found space for ourselves, and in fact then we became what's known as the Music Theatre Workshop.
Acha.
It's a group which is still running in Delhi.
Acha.
Faisal Al-Qazi is attached now with the
Acha.
group, and
Acha.
I am not with the group any longer. And Paramveer also left a year or two ago, and now it's in the hands of Faisal Al-Qazi, who still keeps this idea of the children creating work of their own.
Are you not working with the children now anymore?
On and off, I don't have. One of our great problems in Delhi, tags problems, is not having any fixed space in which to function.
Okay.
Each production is a whole new hassle about where do we rehearse. Sometimes we rehearse at home if it's a small cast play. I just live in a single room, but I clear out all the furniture and we rehearse there. Otherwise we hire a school.
Actually, school premises should be allowed for rehearsing in the evenings because they don't
Schools are
have
so
any other-
closed. They're such factories. They have the children clocking in and clocking out. 1 o'clock, the children are sent home in buses, and the schools are just empty and vacant. They're not at all the community centers that schools should be. And in Delhi, children have to travel such distances. And the gates are closed, the classrooms are locked, the whole place is dead, after the factory closes.
Actually, for the children, the only practical thing can be that either it is done during the school hours or during the vacations. Otherwise, going home and then coming back again, it is a problem. Otherwise, or if it's a residential school, then the students are there, they can be available. Otherwise, the problem is always there.
And this
Now-
is why during the last few years, as you say, they can only function in school time. But then the argument is that, well, we have so much else to teach, which has to be examined, that there's no time for this. And so it's put on an extracurricular basis. But 1 o'clock, the schools know most children are have to go home.
Have to go.
They have to catch that bus, which is going to take them to the other side of the city, which is often an hour and a half's journey for the child.
No, with the present working load, it's difficult for the children to rehearse in the evening, come from somewhere. Then
What
how
they're
to go
virtually
back?
saying is that the children have no time for childhood.
Yeah. Now, you have been so intensely associated with the children's theatre. How do you find the future of this theatre, children's theatre, in the present circumstances?
Unfortunately, I see the future, the immediate future, is very bleak, because with all the sort of westernization, the modernization which is going on, the emphasis upon the needs for scientists and technologists and engineers, the arts have a very low priority. Most children, I think it's true to say that most children go through school knowing very little about painting, poetry, drama, music. All the humanities are of no consequence in the system as it is.
Most of them
If any child has any interest, it has to come from outside the school system. The parent is keen that the child has singing lessons or music lessons or learns an instrument or joins a theatre club, which has nothing to do with the school, ironically, sadly.
That's true.
And when there is an activity in a school, it's sort of exploited in the sense that the school wants a play. They're going to invite parents, they're going to invite their board of governors, and then they want something to show off. So they'll invite a director to produce something with a very small minority of children in the school who are good at debating and elocuting, and the idea of drama being an important educational experience for children, for all children, just is not there, and I don't see it being there for many, many years.
Now this is something which we should give a serious thought to.
Oh yes.
As to how to change this situation.
In fact, this goes side by side with the fact that during the last few years, my concern has been with handicap groups.
I was just going to ask that question.
It grew out of this fact that one is really wasting one's time in trying to teach drama in the present school system as it stands. But one place that one feels that it is really needed, and where one is given the chance to set up something which is more meaningful, is in the special schools and institutions for the handicapped, because they are largely understaffed, and they are just thrilled that anyone takes an interest in in these
but that is not
disabled
going to solve the problem.
It isn't, but the fact is, I think that the new ideas, the idea of change and a more meaningful kind of education is going to come from these special schools.
Have you been able to achieve some success from that point of view, working with the handicapped children?
Indeed, yes. Yes.
How many productions have you done with these handicapped? Do you do every year?
I try to. I work as regularly as I can, because I have my own financial problems just being in theatre, and then working in these institutions. It has to be, in largely unpaid, because they're even worse off than the average schools as far as finances are concerned. And again, there's usually there's no fund available for this kind of activity. It's strange that the policy makers, the educationists up in ministries and educational powers that be are the last to know about these new trends in education, because the change can only come from the top. I've done no end of workshops, not only with children, but with teachers. My idea has been that, how many children can you reach in one workshop? But if you can, work with 30 teachers rather than 30 children, those 30 teachers will go out each in turn and work with.
30 divided by 30. 30 multiplied
But teachers
by 30.
come back with the same problems. We're not given the time, we're not given the space to put these important changes into practice. The teachers feel the need, they know it works, they know the children enjoy the work, that it's more meaningful and relevant to the children. But they too face these obstacles of implementing the new ideas.
That is a big problem.
And the average teacher is a small cog in the machine.
That is true.
If the principal just doesn't see what he or she is up to and doesn't give the go-ahead, then that's it. The teacher is just another frustrated teacher.
A few things about the group. Do you have a membership of TAG, Theatre Activity Group? No, Theatre Action Group, huh?
Theatre Action.
Yeah, yes. Do you have a membership of this group, or a permanent audience, membership audience?
The nearest we get to a membership is a mailing list. We're fairly methodical and organized about. In fact, we have specially printed forms just for a mailing list. We've tried membership schemes, in fact, on several occasions in the past, but it just hasn't worked. I think any group which doesn't have a permanent home, which doesn't have its own space or theatre in which to function, is going to find it difficult to keep any large-scale membership scheme.
How many groups are there who have their own auditorium? One Sri Ram Center and another, you can say, LTG, that's all. I don't think any other theatre group has
we have
got...
only Sangeet Kala Mandir.
Here it's
that
only
is most of the Birla group.
Yeah, so what do you mean by a membership scheme?
No, what I was just wondering, because you see, just as in Anamika, we have a membership. There are about 600 members.
And what do they do?
They just come and see. They are just
Yes, well, that's what I
spectators.
mean.
They come and see the place, that's all.
But my idea of a membership scheme is that, there would be special programs for members. That, with your own space, there could be everything from seminars, workshops, poetry recitals, experimental productions,
No, that can
free
all,
of cost,
yes.
which are for those that are interested.
No, that I agree
Which
with
are
you
member
that
activities.
if a regular program is done, say once a week also, people know that this something will be on there. So many people may come, or it may be announced thing that yes, on such and such date this type of program will be there.
You say you have members. I
Yes.
say I have people on a mailing list. It
Mm.
comes to the same thing.
Maybe.
We
Maybe.
inform them of our activities and they
Yes,
come.
They come. It's all right, fine. It comes to the same thing if you look at from that point of view. Formerly we used to have programs when we would invite the members to come and participate, but that is long back, 20 years back. For the last 20 years, there is a group which works, which produces play, that's all. And the others come as spectators,
That's right.
paying an annual subscription, that's all, nothing more.
Mm.
Anything else, Barry, that you would like to tell about your work, which we don't know at all, maybe?
I don't think so. I mean, we've covered the main aspects.
What are your future plans? Anything special?
I suppose future plans will always be that. I mean, something to look forward to in the future, which is a permanent home for ourselves, which is the idea of being in a position where we have not just 4 people who are full-time, but at least 10 or 12, a nucleus of people who are committed in a full-time way.
Please name those who are as full-timers at the moment with tag. Yourself?
Myself, our administrative director is Sanjoy Roy,
Sanjay Roy.
who's from Calcutta,
Acha.
and his assistant is Annie Thomas,
Annie Thomas.
Mm.
Yes.
and our business manager is a woman called Mona Rao.
Mona Rao.
Yes,
Rawal.
Rao.
Rao. And there must be about 15-20 active people, or you every time you...
We distinguish between ordinary members, those who are on the mailing list and are just informed of our activities and come and form our audiences. And we have associate members who are the inner core of actual working people and technicians. And we are a group of about 30.
I see. Would you like to talk about the work of some other directors working in Delhi on English stage? Yatrik is doing English plays from time to time. They are doing
Yes,
plays in other languages also.
Yes, Joy herself is not, I suppose, the creative person that she once was, and is more. She's now principally, the principal of a school, a girls' school in Delhi, so that consumes a lot of her time and energy.
In
I
which
suppose.
school is she?
St. Thomas's.
St. Thomas.
And but Yatrik is a fairly open house now. There's one Bengali, in fact, who's been doing a number of productions recently with Yatrik.
Acha.
Abhijit Datta is it?
Abhijit Datta.
Acha, he
A
is
tall,
one of the...
lanky person, is
I'm
he?
afraid I don't know him personally.
Abhijit Datta
But they
must be
did,
the same person.
They did
From-
Strephanie Opera last year,
It must be the same. He
from
was
Calcutta.
here in Calcutta.
and they're just doing Vedikin's Spring Awakening in Hindi currently. But it's sad to say that I think in English and in Hindi theatre, the output is not as great as it was, 15 years ago when I first came to Delhi. And standards too perhaps have gone down. I find the whole situation deteriorated, in fact.
I think in general perhaps this is the common feature in every field, even
Even
in
in-
playwriting, producing.
Playwriting,
everything.
it's very, very sad, isn't it?
Very sad, because there was a time, I think in 50s and 60s, those were the golden years in
Yes.
which there came up a number of good playwrights, good plays came up. I remember that in 60s most of the Indian plays were done. Before that there were adaptations of foreign plays. Now in 60s there were mostly Indian plays being produced in different Indian languages, Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Kannada, all were being exchanged in them. Since 70, or let us give a
Or
grace
mid
of
70s, I would place it.
mid
Because
70s
when
for
I-
the last 10-12 years, and there is sort of bankruptcy in every field that
And
Yes,
in
yes.
practically every language.
in every language the good books haven't come, even poetry, new poets haven't come up, good novels haven't come up, good plays haven't come up, good directors, new directors with you. Either we have too saturated ourselves with the new ideas and all that in 2 decades. God knows what is happening.
No, I
there
think-
must be something wrong somewhere, that we are all feeling it, that somehow we have become static. We are not moving further.
Well-
nothing new, nothing. Well, rather we are going back. We are
Referring back to
retreating.
kid stuff, I think the point was made in this play that this whole situation is the fruits of a weak educational system. Artists, an interest in the arts and humanities, a meaningful creative involvement is just not there, and we are suffering from that fact. People know how to watch television, they know how to go to films, they don't know how to read a play, write a play, to consider their own views and feelings as worthy of being shared with an audience. It's simply that fact.
You may be right there to some extent. That could be one reason. We are forgetting all those
We are not
things.
creating creative people. It's such a one-way traffic of shoving facts and information down people's throats, which is so-called education,
And which they forget very easily.
and which are forgotten, and people are left with nothing.
This fact I am facing these days. I am taking classes with children between the age of 6 and 8 and 8 to 10, and I am facing exactly this fact. I cannot, I have tried I don't know how many ways, and I have not been able to make, except, yes, some children which I can count on my fingers, probably 5 children out of 30 children. And they just don't have the time even to read a story which you ask them to read.
No.
And when I ask them about the story, they just have forgotten how to talk, how to talk to
Express themselves.
express themselves, you see. And out of those 30 children, only 5 children today, I mean day before, could talk to me, even answer one question about the story.
Actually, just recently, I think we are going through that audio-visual age.
Gosh.
Now we are listening and we are watching. You need the comics to read. The children are reading the comics and not the full stories. They
Comics
don't
and
want to read
magazines
Comics
are
and magazines.
the reading material.
Now in the magazines also, these cinema magazines they are reading. No serious magazine, even
No.
Dharmyug and Hindustan, which gives a lot of other sort of material also, they are not reading that.
Lot
Now
of
I am seeing
third-rate
the children-
gossip.
Third-rate gossips, then these comics. I think one big thing that Amar Chitra Katha has done, that at least even through visuals and small sentences, they have given a number of stories about our own history, our own mythology to the children. They have known about many characters and all that. Otherwise, we are not reading books.
No.
They are not reading books. And you see these children coming out of English medium schools. They become proficient in reading English only. these children especially are not reading any Indian book at all. Now I don't know. Of course, life will teach them a lot. They may not read the books. The book of life will be there before them. But they are the people who will never be able to know what others think, such a vast country, so many people, so many cultures, so many customs are there, so many problems are there. They never read a good novel. I always tell that you read good novel. That will tell you so much, teach you so much
Well,
about
this is
life.
again a result of the system as it stands.
Yeah.
Children, when they leave school, never want to pick up a serious book again in their lives, it seems.
Yes, that's a pity. And so let us see if the things do change. There is change coming in the educational policy and attitude. Let us see how it comes.
Well, at
about
least
it.
in speeches.
At least they are realizing this thing.
The realization
now
is
the
there.
first stage is there. So let us hope that if not today, tomorrow, if we realize that something is going wrong and a change should come, maybe at least that one step forward. Thanks a lot, John, and I hope that we will be meeting again. I shall be sending you the form for yourself and for the group, and you please fill in that and send the information
Yes,
to
sir.
us. Thanks a lot.
Okay.